And you're live.
Hi everybody, I'm so happy to be back and so fortunate that I have this opportunity to reconnect with everybody. I hope everyone's doing good. I know everyone's going through a hard time right now. We all are, but this is going to be a great opportunity for us to reconnect and learn. I miss teaching. I miss all of you so much, and I know you miss me just as much, I hope. So the plan for today is we have 3 different chapters we're going to go through. We're going to start with electrical equipment, and then we're going to go into electricity, and then chemistry. All very stimulating, interesting topics. I'll try to make them as exciting as I can. So I know some of you have been working on your questions. I've been connecting with a lot of you via a Facebook group and email. So don't worry if you haven't been working on the questions, that's okay. When we're done today, you can work on them tonight, or you can work on them as we go along. And then tomorrow we have our Zoom. So during the Zoom, it'll be a 1-hour interactive Zoom where we can ask questions and answer questions and discuss the lessons that we're going to go through today. Okay? Now you guys also have the opportunity to ask me questions during the lesson today, and I can answer them. Try not to bombard me with questions that aren't relevant to the lesson. Let's stick to electrical equipment, electricity, chemistry, anything regarding student loans or schedules or anything else. Email student services, okay? So let's get started. And I want you guys, as I'm reading through the chapter, I want you guys to think about questions that you want to ask me. And let's try to make this really interactive. Oh, I see Mina, Alex. Audio's good, awesome. Everything's perfect. Well, I hope everyone gets a chance to log on with us. This is going to be really awesome. And it's going to be exciting to finish up what we've already started in class. Okay. Kitty, who's Kitty? Oh, everyone's logging on now. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start reading through electrical equipment. Okay, so hopefully you guys have your chapters in front of you and you can read along with me. Okay? Different machines provide specific benefits to the skin and make the client feel as though they received a specialized treatment. It is important that you are familiar with these tools and integrate them into your treatments. So we've already worked with a lot of electrical equipment. You guys have worked with high frequency, which is the glass electrode. We've worked with the metal electrodes, which is the direct current. You guys did that with the Galvanic machine, the hydrodermy. So you're already familiar with all of these electrical devices. The steamer is one as well. So this is a bit of a review for you as well. Electrical devices enhance the facial by making it easier to give a skin analysis, achieve better product penetration through galvanic, or sanitize the skin through high frequency, which you know. The magnifying lamp, you need to know this. You will be taking tests or quizzes on each chapter, so this highlight, if you can, is important. The lamp provides magnification and glare-free light to treat and analyze the skin. Aids in detecting tiny imperfections that otherwise go unnoticed, uses cool fluorescent light bulbs, and puts emphasis on irregular or uneven surfaces. Always protect your client's eyes with eye pads before putting the lamp over the face. You guys know you can't put eye pads on a client that has artificial lashes or lash extensions on, so we just go without. Always make sure that you have your cotton pads damp, and you always do your tissue twist on top to secure them in place. Also make sure the knob on the lamp is not loose, because if it's loose, it might fall or hit your client in the face, and we don't want that to happen. The magnifying lamp is great for removing milia, comedones, pustules, and ingrown hairs. So yes, when we're doing extractions, removing comedones, pustules, papules, we have to use the mag lamp. Magnifying lamps can last up to 10 years if well maintained. So to clean the lens, spray it with disinfectant. So we use 70% alcohol and cotton. Never use paper or paper products, paper towel, because that'll scratch the lens. Anyone that wears glasses like myself knows that. You can use a cotton towel, a little cotton towel, or raw cotton or cotton pads, that's fine. The skin scope. So the skin scope is a magnifying lamp used to magnify the skin as well. It has a one-way magnifying mirror, allowing the esthetician to scan the client's skin while allowing the client to see their own reflection in the magnifying mirror. These aren't as popular as the traditional mag lamp, but lots of people still use them. Usually when I have the mag lamp over my client's face, I don't want them looking up at me. I want them to have their eyes closed and I want them to relax, but that's an option. The Wood's lamp was developed by physician Robert Williams Wood. You need to know that for your test, so highlight that. Allowing the esthetician to conduct a more in-depth skin analysis, illuminating problems that aren't usually seen. The lamp is a filtered black light that is used to illuminate fungi, bacteria, pigmentation, and other skin problems. So when you use the Wood lamp, the room has to be completely dark, and then you put the Wood's lamp over the face, and it'll illuminate in different colors, like purple, blue, white, and different colors mean different things. So some examples are, if the client has a thick corneum layer, it's going to be white fluorescent. If they have lots of horny dead skin, thick dead skin, there's going to be white spots, like white flakes. If the skin's normal and healthy, it'll be kind of like a blue-white. If it's thin, dehydrated, purple fluorescent. If it's just dehydrated, lack of water, it'll be like a light violet. Hydrated skin is bright fluorescent. Oily areas of the face and comedones are yellow or pink. You usually see those in little round pockets around the nose where it's more porous. And pigmentation and dark spots will look like dark brown spots and patches. And you'll find that the older your clients are, the more pigmentation damage they'll have. You can't see pigmentation damage, whoa, it's loud. You can't see pigmentation damage on myself that much, but because I am older, when you look under the lamp, the Wood's lamp, it illuminates a lot of that. And that's a good tool for you to understand what kind of damage is underneath the layers of your client's skin. It's really good for medical practitioners, cosmetic surgeons, to understand what kind of treatments they can offer in regards to maybe laser resurfacing, IPL laser. They have to have an understanding of the damage that's happening underneath before they treat the skin. So that's quite a popular tool. Moving on to the electric pulverizer. So the electric pulverizer, you need to know, is also known as the Luca. Yes, that'll be on your test. It's spelled Lucas, but it's pronounced Luca. So I used to use this when I was an esthetician in the spa. It's like a big metal kettle almost, and you plug it in, and it heats up the water inside, and you have your toner in a beaker in one compartment of that. So you can fill it with teas or toners. It emits a fine warm mist, and it's great for, highlight this, you need to know, dehydrated, mature, or cuprose skins, okay? So you fill it 3/4 full with distilled herbal water, and you turn it on. Don't overfill it because it'll spit or spurt hot water out. Place a towel around the client's neck to catch any drip. Tuck tissues into the headband and cover the ears. When you hear a hissing sound, so you want to plug it in maybe 5 minutes before you're ready to use it. When you hear a hissing sound, the Luca's ready. So keep it 15 inches away from the face. Circle the face with the spray, being careful not to spray up the client's nose. So it's actually quite heavy, so you have to bring it over and you have to kind of spray it over, and you have to cover the client's eyes at the same time. So it is kind of cumbersome and awkward. Not a popular choice in today's spas, but back when I was an esthetician, way back, 20 years ago, that's what we used, okay? The steamer, also known as a vapozone machine. Yes, you need to know the other name for that, mark that down. There are many benefits of steaming the skin. So it stimulates circulation, we know that. This is the regular steam that you guys have been using in your facials. It's warm, so it's stimulating. It softens sebum, so it's great before extractions. It dilates pores, so it's great for elimination of toxins, obviously making your extractions easier. It oxygenates the skin and can be beneficial for sinus congestion. The steamer with ozone has antibacterial, drying, healing effects on the skin. So the ozone option, remember, is that separate button on the steamer. It's a denser steam, and it's basically oxygen molecules shooting through the electrical current, creating O3 molecules. So it's whiter, denser, and a lot more antibacterial. So you never want to use the ozone option on mature skin or dry skin. You want to save that for your oily, acneic skins. And then, of course, avoid steam on cuperose skin, sensitive skin, people who have trouble breathing, claustrophobic people. You don't want to make them feel like they're suffocating. Yeah, always make sure when you fill it up, only fill it up to the red line or whatever color line it is. Don't exceed that because, again, it can spit hot water on the client's face and actually burn them. Make sure the water is just under that line. And make sure at the end of the day you always take it off, the beaker off, dump out the water, and then just leave it. You don't ever want the water sitting in that beaker overnight. It'll rust the element and all the minerals collect at the bottom. And you always want to make sure you have fresh water for your clients anyway. Okay. Be careful with essential oils too. I know we've discussed this before. With essential oils, it's fine if you put one essential oil or one type of essential oil into the beaker. But what happens is once that boils, there's a chemical reaction and it changes the chemistry. So if you add another essential oil and then Mina comes in and she puts eucalyptus in, and then Gabby comes in and she puts frankincense in, it creates more of a chemical reaction that starts to bubble and spit, again, hot water on your client's face. So we avoid putting the essential oils directly into the water for that reason. But again, remember we were talking about those rings that are actually on the nozzle of the steamer. And you can put your essential oils on that ring and you can change them out with different scents and aromas. So that's the best way to do that. Okay, so let's go into the high frequency machine. The high frequency machine, remember you guys, we have the little handheld high frequency machines now. We have the mushroom end, we have the fulguration sparking end, we have the spoon, which does the same thing the mushroom does, and then we have the brush for the hair, which is awesome. It's really awesome. You guys use that a lot. Clients love it. It has an amazing result on the skin, and it's great for pretty much all skin types and conditions. So the high frequency machine utilizes alternating or sinusoidal current. So the alternating current means static. So it doesn't produce a chemical change. It's completely topical. It's like rubbing a balloon on your head. When that creates that static electricity and your hair sticks to the balloon, same thing. It's harmless. There's pretty much no side effects. But yes, you do need to know on your test that alternating current is a sinusoidal current. Okay? High frequency has no polarity and in effect does not produce a chemical change. You need to know that. This makes it physically impossible to produce a chemical change. Product penetration is achieved through galvanic current. So that's the direct current when we use the metal rollers or the balls. The rapid oscillation created by the high frequency machine vibrates water molecules into the skin. So when you hear that product penetration is achieved through high frequency, it's not driving the product in like a direct current would. It's simply just vibrating the molecules. So when the molecules in the skin are vibrating, then the water can get through a little deeper. So we don't like to say that high frequency is done for product penetration. We just want to say maybe saturation of product, okay? Oscillation, the rapid oscillation, you do need to know that oscillation means vibration, okay? So vibrating, oscillating, all right? High frequency provides the following benefits. So we know it's antiseptic. It kills bacteria, great for papules, pustules, acne. Stimulates circulation, which brings oxygen to the skin. Oxygen, we know, kills bacteria as well, and it also brightens and rejuvenates the skin. Pardon me. Increases cell metabolism. Oh, I'm not used to talking so much. I've emerged out of my cave and I haven't talked this much in 2 weeks. Just give me a second here. I might need some hot tea in a minute here. I think I'm good for a few more minutes though. Bear with me. So stimulates, oxygenates, increases cell metabolism, and helps coagulate and heal any open lesions after extractions. So that's the sparking one, that's the pointy one that you can spark, and you can actually stop bleeding and you can heal the acne, okay? And why is that healing the acne? Like, how does that work? It works through oxygen, because oxygen kills bacteria, okay? And all of this is ozone, so it's not the O2 molecule, it's the O3. So that's the dense disinfecting oxygen molecule. And that only happens when O2 oxygen travels through an electrical current, okay? So the air in the tube electrodes is replaced with neon gas, though some may contain argon gas. Neon gas produces a red, pink, or orange light when electricity goes through it. The violet electrode produces, so we have the violet, which is the purple, and we have the orange, okay? So the purple is more aggressive, more disinfecting, better for acne, oily skin, and the orange one is a little gentler, I guess, so it's better for dehydration or sensitive skin, okay? The spiral electrode. So the spiral electrode is just the long tube. It's called the spiral electrode because sometimes there's a metal spiral actually inside the glass tube, but not all the time. And this is an indirect application. So all of the other high frequency applications that we use on the skin directly affect the client's face. So the mushroom, the spoon, fulguration, it's directly touching the client's face. So that's a direct method, okay? Indirect method means it's not touching the client's face, but it's still having an effect on the client's skin. So the client's holding it. Remember when we had somebody lying down in the bed, they were holding on to the electrode, and then we were doing a scalp massage, and it was like really prickly, and you could feel the static electricity in the hair. That's bringing all the stimulation and electrical current to wherever you're touching your client. So if it's here, it's coming to the head. And if it's coming to the head, it's most likely stimulating the face and bringing all that blood and oxygen to the surface layers of the skin, okay? The brushing machine, the rotary brush, you need to know that the brushing machine is a rotary brush. It has a light exfoliating and stimulating action on the skin, great to use during foam cleanse, helping soften excess oil, dirt, and cell buildup. They come in a few different sizes and textures. We don't really use the brushing machine on the face anymore. They have in the past. They're really hard to clean in between clients. The bristles are quite abrasive, so it's not really a good idea to have that on the face because the skin is so delicate. But the brushing machine I find is great for the body. So if you're doing a back facial, use it on the back facial, no problem. But try to stay away from the brushing machines. So yeah, you do need to know that the brushing machine should not be used on sensitive skin, reactive skin, or open acne, okay? And you need to know how to clean the brush. So remove it, wash it with hot soapy water, dry it, immerse it in disinfectant for 10 minutes, then you have to take it out, rinse it, dry it, and then store it in a sanitary area, okay? Great. The suction machine. The suction vacuum machine sucks dirt and impurities from the skin, as well as reducing the appearance of creases such as laugh lines. So no, it doesn't suck the comedones or the blackheads right out of the skin like we wish it would. It sucks everything to the surface. So it sucks the oil, the dirt, the debris to the surface, which is great because you can do extractions after, and your extractions are really easy. So you're basically just sucking impurities to the surface of the skin, okay? So it makes your extractions easier. Now it says it reduces the appearance of creases such as laugh lines. So all you're doing is, well, you are literally sucking out and sucking up debris and oil, but you're also sucking up hyaluronic acid and collagen molecules. So we know that our hyaluronic acid, our collagen is in the second layer of the dermis, so the deepest layer. So the suction is strong enough that it can bring everything up to the surface, and it has an instant plumping effect. I know clients do it around their lips for instant plumping. They do it in the creases, their smile, laugh lines, around the eyes, the furrows, and the forehead. Temporary results, though. It lasts a couple days. You do have to insert a little piece of cotton into the glass tip. And then the glass tip goes into a hose. And then you hold on to it. There's a little hole. You put it on the skin. You can do actually lymph drainage with this technique. Not very popular, but you can. And every time you lift up off the skin, you have to take your finger off the hole and then lift up. Okay? Wash in antibacterial soap. So yeah, like everything, you need to wash it really good. Antibacterial soap. Dry it, disinfect it for 10 minutes, and then put it aside and store it in a sanitary environment, okay? The galvanic machines. So you can get separate galvanic machines, just like our hydrodermy machine from Guino. And it has it has metal rollers or metal balls, okay? So this is a direct current. This has way more contraindications than the high frequency would. So galvanic current is a constant and direct current. So you need to know that galvanic current is DC, and DC means direct current. You need to know that chemical changes take place when certain products pass through the skin. Galvanic is used to create two significant reactions, anaphoresis and cataphoresis. So this is where it's going to start to get a little more confusing. Anaphoresis and cataphoresis are the use of positive ions on the skin and negative ions on the skin. I have very cute diagrams that I have for you that I've drawn. I've given some of them to Amir, so he might be able to pull some up on the screen for you guys. If not, I can email them to you, no problem, or I can even send them to the group, our Facebook chat group. But I'll try to explain it as best as I can. Amir, if I hold my information up, they can't really see anything, can they?
Which one do you want? You want that one up? Is that the one that's a high frequency on the top? Or electric equipment?
Yeah, no, you know what? Don't worry about it right now. I'm just going to read through everything right now, and then at the end, if I want to bring some up, then you can help me do that. Yeah, okay.
Just tell me which one it is, and I'll do it right now. Before you stand up.
Okay, well, let's do this then, guys. Okay, you know what I want? I want this one.
What is it? What is it? I can't see it from there.
The three C's and the 3 A's. Yes.
Okay. Remember, right?
Yeah.
All right, and here we go. Chocolate, oil.
Perfect. Okay, ladies, all you need to remember is the 3 C's and the 3 A's. So anaphoresis is the 3 A's, cataphoresis is the 3 C's. Okay, so let's talk about this in a minute, but let's just talk about what anaphoresis is. So yes, you need to know that anaphoresis is disencrustation. So you need to know that disencrustation is deep cleansing, pretty much, okay, with the use of electricity. So the penetration of an alkaline solution into the skin. This chemical reaction softens and liquefies sebum deposits in the skin. Yes, you need to know that for your test. This solution can be a manufactured product or a solution of sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is just baking soda and water, or baking soda and you mix it with warm water. You put gauze strips in and then you place it on the skin. So for deep cleansing, it has to be an alkaline solution. You can use a saline solution, like the same type of saline solution you clean your contacts with, or just baking soda. When the electrical current interacts with the salts, which are sodium chloride, in the skin, it creates the chemical sodium hydroxide, or lye. This soapy substance helps dissolve excess oil, clogged pores, and softening at the same time. So disincrustation is great before extractions, before you actually remove blackheads and pustules and papules. Okay? It's done with the rollers, and you have to use an alkaline product. When you use an alkaline product on the skin, you have to use a negative ion. Okay? So always think black, negative, alkaline. And then the opposite of that is going to be the cataphoresis, which we're going to talk about next, which is the use of positive ions on the skin. So it's positive product penetration. So this is done with an acidic solution, because positive ions on the skin always are used with acidic solutions. Why do you have to use an acidic solution with positive? Because an acidic solution, let me give you an example. Like our hypodermic gels, they have a positive charge to them. Okay, so that because they have positive charge, that makes them acidic. Things that have a negative charge, like baking soda, are negative. So you have to keep that electrical charge that the product holds, you have to keep it the same in order for the chemical reaction to work properly. Okay? So cataphoresis is really good for deep product penetration. You can use cataphoresis for anti-wrinkle, for lifting, for sensitive skin even. It just drives that product, that serum, that gel, whatever you're using, just drives it deeper into the skin, okay? So you have instant results, instant plumping, purifying, diffusion of redness, all of that. When you use cataphoresis, your products are usually water-based, so they're usually gels, okay? Polarity of solutions. So actually, before we go into polarity of solutions, I want to just go over this diagram with you guys.
Which one?
The one that you have up. Yeah, that's fine. It's perfect. So in order to remember exactly what's going on in this chemical equation, it's quite simple if you can remember the 3 C's. So let's talk about cataphoresis. If you're doing cataphoresis on the skin, which is deep product penetration, you're using positive ions on the skin. So positive ions are known as cations. You need to know this. A cation is positive. I always remember it because cats are positive. I love my cat. He makes me happy. So cations are positive. Now this is everything that's happening on the client. So if cataphoresis is happening on the client's face and cations are being put onto the face, then what is the client holding? The opposite pole. So if positive ions are on the face, the client's holding the opposite pole, it's the negative pole. So the negative pole is known as the cathode, okay? So if you can remember that, you'll remember cataphoresis, cations, cathode. And yes, you need to know that for your test. Actually, you know what? For this information, we're going a little deeper into the chemical equations, but I don't think you're going to actually need to know this information until the physics test. And I think we're going into physics next week, but we'll talk about that later. Okay? Aqueous solution. Aqueous means water-based. We know water-based solutions have a positive charge and are acidic. Okay? The 3 A's: anaphoresis, anions, anode. So anaphoresis is deep cleansing, disincrustation, using alkaline solutions. So we know that anaphoresis is using negative ions, and negative ions are called anions. Okay, what's the client holding? the opposite pole. So that pole is positive. It's called the anode. Okay, anaphoresis, anions, anode. We use an alkaline solution, which has a negative charge, like baking soda or saline solution. Okay, we're going to be going over this again next week, so I don't expect you to memorize this right away. It's a little confusing, but once you get it, it's really easy. Okay, so polarity of solutions. Products that have a slightly acidic pH are considered positive. We just talked about that. Products with an alkaline tendency are considered negative. If the solution is negative, the esthetician applies the negative electrode to the skin and the client holds onto the positive electrode. The process of iontophoresis is based on universal laws of attraction, that negative attracts positive and vice versa. So the whole process of iontophoresis is using a solution that is driven into the skin using electricity, basically. So iontophoresis is kind of the umbrella, and then under that you have anaphoresis and cataphoresis. Okay? Again, anaphoresis, the process of forcing liquids into the tissues using the negative electrode. Cataphoresis, the process of forcing liquids into the tissue using positive electrode. An anode is the positive pole, it's usually red, and a cathode is the negative pole, and it's usually black. Disincrustation procedure. When you're doing disincrustation with the rollers, you can do it over damp gauze. So like I said before, you can mix your baking soda and water, and then you can get gauze, dip the gauze in little strips, and then you can place the strips over the face and then roll the rollers over top. And you have to do that for 10 minutes. No more than 10 minutes though, okay? Okay, let's go over to active iontophoresis. So you guys, if you're looking at your manual right now, you can see, if you're reading along with me, in this diagram, it shows the electric field underneath the skin. So that's why it's creating, pardon me, that's why it's creating a chemical reaction, because there's an actual exchange of chemicals underneath the skin that you can't see. So the positive ions are being driven in, and the negative field is coming up throughout the skin, the blood vessels, the nerves, through the epidermis and dermal layers. So you need to know that iontophoresis is known as ionization, okay? So the process of introducing water-soluble products into the skin with an electric current. This allows estheticians to transfer or penetrate ions of an applied solution into the deeper layers of the skin. So ions, you need to know this, highlight this, are atoms or molecules that carry an electric charge. Current flows through conductive solutions from the negative and positive polarities. The separating of a substance into ions is known as ionization. Okay? Iontophoresis procedure. For iontophoresis to occur, the esthetician must be holding the polarity of the product. So we know that if we're doing positive on the face, it has to be an acidic product. If we're doing negative on the face, it has to be an alkaline product. When the client grips a handheld electrode, all the water molecules in the skin become charged with the polarity of the electrode. So whatever product you have on the skin becomes charged, okay? And it's going to be attracted to the opposite pole. So it drives in deeper because it's attracted to the negative pole. Always completely cover the face in gel before applying the rollers directly to the skin. Always make sure, you guys, when we did hydrodermy, you remember we used quite a lot of gel. It has to be quite thick in order for it to work properly. There's also an ionto mask that you can do. This mask has the same effects as disincrustation and cataphoresis, but the face is first covered with the saturated gauze, like the entire face. This directs the current to the underlying tissues. Instead of the client holding the opposite electrode, a wet pad is placed under the shoulder, and the mask is plugged into the source of galvanic current. So the client doesn't have to hold anything. The pad itself is conducting or omitting either a positive or negative charge. Okay? Microcurrent machines. Microcurrent or wave therapy devices mimic the way the brain relays messages to the muscles. Okay, so a microcurrent machine is for lifting and toning. It basically forces the muscle to contract, which is exercising the muscle, which, yes, thank you, which firms and tones. So instant firming and toning, okay? You guys can see how that works. So with the little fork prongs, it's like two little forks, you find the axis of the muscle and then the other end of the muscle and allow the pulses to exercise the muscle basically. The therapeutic technique helps stimulate motor nerves to the point where a visible contraction, you can actually see the contraction of the muscle. Microcurrent devices are designed to work in harmony with the natural bioelectrical currents found in the body. So this actually works really well. I used to work with this machine when I was living in London. I had a lot of clients that would come back weekly. And when I moved and my boss moved and everyone kind of went their separate ways, one of my clients actually ended up buying this machine from my boss. She was so obsessed with it because it worked and made her look amazing. So she actually bought it and she started doing it on herself at home. So it does work, and it's a great machine. It's not as common now, I guess, because lasers have taken over. IPL laser, fractional lasers, they work underneath the skin and they promote collagen production and stimulation and firming of the skin. So that's kind of taken over. This is kind of the older way of how we used to firm and tone the skin, I guess you could say. When placing two probes on the facial muscle groups, one on each muscle, a certain technique is followed. It also heals and repairs tissue. And the influence of the cellular metabolism is also stimulated, and again, resulting in a firmer, healthier looking skin. So on your test, you will need to know this. What does the microcurrent machine do? You just say it induces muscle contraction to firm and tone the skin. That's all you need to say. Paraffin wax heater. Paraffin is used to create a warm, hydrating mask for dry or mature skin. Heated paraffin is applied to the face using a mask brush and is distributed over a protective layer of gauze. This creates an occlusive mask that holds in body heat and promotes penetration of underlying products. This treatment will give your client instant results and glowing skin. So again, not a very popular treatment, but a lot of spas do use paraffin on the body and the face, more so on the body. I want to say, I think we talked about this. Remember I was talking about like the big paintbrush that the technicians use, and they put it over the entire body and then they wrap you in plastic. Amazing for body. But hot paraffin on the face has a lot of contraindications. Think about hot wax on the face. Who's going to be a contraindication for that? Sensitive, reactive, rosacea, those types of skins. So a lot of people can't have hot paraffin on the skin. The paraffin that is used on the skin, on the face, is different than on the body. So if you want to do that at home, make sure that you're buying paraffin that is special to the skin on the face. Okay. Hot towel cabby. Hot towel cabbies are commonly used in the treatment room for use on the face and body. Towels provide a warm, soothing, and softening benefit to the skin and are great for taking thick masks off or softening skin prior to extractions. So you guys have used the hot towel cabbies in your facials. You know that they're really good for cleaning the skin and removing thick masks. The two main benefits that you're going to need to know for your test, though, are going to be that it keeps the towels hot, and the other benefit is it keeps the towels sanitary. Because as soon as you shut that door, the black light goes on, and the black light creates an environment that bacteria can't grow. If it's unsanitary in there already, like if you put dirty towels in there or you don't clean it periodically, then yes, you can cross-contaminate and you can have an unsanitary environment. But for the most part, that black light keeps everything sanitary. Okay. Okay, so I'm assuming all of you have done your questions. So we're going to go through them. We can pull up the questions, and you guys can see them if you don't already have them in front of you. We'll read through them together. So your electrical equipment test is pretty much the same as the questions, maybe some differences, but we'll go over that. Let me see what time it is. It's 9:40. Pretty good, doing good for time. So why do estheticians use mag lamps during a skin analysis? How do you clean it properly? Why do estheticians use mag lamps during a skin analysis? It provides magnification and a glare-free light to treat and analyze the skin, aids in detecting tiny imperfections that otherwise go unnoticed, uses cool fluorescent light bulbs, and puts emphasis on irregular or uneven surfaces. So I can't repeat myself, but what I'm going to do once we've gone through all the answers is I can either set this up with a mirror and we can put it on the screen for you, or I can just email it to you.
It's on right now.
Oh, the answers.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the answers. So if you guys want the answers or you want me to send them to you, just let me know and I'll probably just send them. I'll take a picture and send it to the Facebook group. It's probably easier and then everybody has them. Number 2, who developed the Woods lamp? Physician Robert William Woods. Number 3, list the benefits of the vaporizer, hot towel cabine, and paraffin wax heater. So the benefits of the vaporizer, so that's the steamer. So it softens sebum, it stimulates, it oxygenates. The hot towel cabinet, it keeps towels sanitary and hot. And the paraffin wax heater, it moisturizes and hydrates the skin. Now, if you can also say that it soothes joints. Those of you that have taken the nail module already know that hot paraffin on the hands and the feet are also really good for arthritis or stiff joints. So you can say that too if you want. How far should the nozzle on the steamer be from the client's face? At least 2 to 3 feet. Okay? You can also say 15 to 20 inches. That's fine too. What is the purpose of the brushing machine? The brushing machine lifts debris and dead skin off the face. You can say it has a light exfoliating action. How do you clean the brushing machine after use? Clean it with hot soapy water, really good. Rinse it, dry it, immerse it in disinfectant for 10 minutes. Remove it from the disinfectant, rinse it again, dry it again, and store it in a sanitary environment. Give another name for positive and negative poles. A negative pole is a cathode, positive pole is an anode. List the benefits of high frequency. So that's the mushroom, the glass mushroom. Mojigan's favorite. Antiseptic. Stimulates circulation, stimulates oxygen, increases cellular metabolism, coagulates blood after extractions, produces ozone. 10, what are the benefits of the suction machine? So we know it can plump out wrinkles, and we know that it draws impurities and blackheads to the surface. Number 11, explain galvanic current and the high frequency machines. Galvanic current is a direct current used with metal rollers, and it produces a chemical change. High frequency is an alternating current, does not produce a chemical change, and is used with the glass electrodes. Okay. Now your tests. So guys, I'm going to kind of open it up now for questions. So I hope everybody has questions for me. I'll just wait and see what pops up. We have time. We still have 10 minutes for questions. So just think about what you want to ask. If you don't get a chance to ask me questions now, again, we can do that and address that during the Zoom tomorrow. Okay? G1 students don't have the questions, so you guys, Amir's. Rin, I know you have a question for me.
All right, well, maybe they don't. So.
Takumi, Lynn,
Mio,
Gabby, Moji,
Isis,
Isa. Who's Kitty? I forget who Kitty is.
Migami.
Kitty's Gabby? No.
Migami, yeah.
Oh, Megumi?
Yeah, Migami.
Oh, Megumi. Hi.
Hi, Migami. All right, I guess nobody has. Okay, very good. What's the class for tomorrow?
Well, we're doing all three chapters today. So there's no lesson tomorrow. There's no class tomorrow. All we're doing tomorrow is having a discussion. So I've got 1 hour with you guys, and we can talk about. I want you guys to have time to digest all of this. We still have to do electricity and chemistry. So you guys are going to digest it all, work on your questions, review what you need to know for your quizzes and tests, and then we can discuss it tomorrow, okay? And that's going to give an opportunity to those that couldn't join us today to catch up and then be a part of the discussion tomorrow.
Gabby has a question.
Sinusoidal current. Mojo, hold on.
What's another name for?
I know maybe you said it already, but what is another name for sinusoidal current? Alternating. Alternating current is sinusoidal. So basically what you do with the high frequency machine with the mushroom on the face is sinusoidal. Does skin need the CCC and who needs AAA? Okay, so CCC is cataphoresis, AAA anaphoresis. Anaphoresis is deep cleansing, okay? So deep cleansing means coming out, drawing things up and out of the skin using a negative ions on the face, okay? So just remember that anaphoresis, deep cleansing. Cataphoresis is product penetration, okay, using positive ions on the skin. Sinusoidal current, alternating current. You were correct, Joanne. Good for you. Kitty is Megumi. Awesome. Oh, I miss you too. I miss you guys so much. We will be together again. We just have to wait this thing out like everybody else. Can we get the questions paper by email because the FB one may not be clear enough? Absolutely, I can email that for sure. If you have any questions regarding documents you need, I'll share with you. Manual, I've seen this before. Hi, Saho. Perfect. Okay, guys. Let's move on. So let's do electricity now. And then I'm going to elaborate a little more on what you guys need to know for the test. Obviously, all those questions, there's a few more bits of information that you're going to need to know for the test. But I want to talk about that tomorrow during our Zoom, okay? So let's start electricity now. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Manual, but nothing on my manual. Perfect. Okay, guys, electricity. Yes, all the questions are in the drive as well, in those folders that Anna created for you guys, yeah. Okay. Okay, so I believe before the pandemic happened, I believe I did give out an electricity handout. It was a game because the chapter was so broad. Remember, I'm like, this chapter is huge. It elaborates a lot on the physics part of things too, which we need to know for next week. So I'm like, all you need to focus on is this word scramble. Amir doesn't have this, so we can't bring it up right now, but I can email this to you guys. Anna might have put it in the folders, I'm not sure, but I'll check after. So basically, for your electricity quiz, you just need to know certain terminologies, okay? Let's just start reading through the chapter, and then I can go through the individual terminologies after, okay? Estheticians use electricity every day to enhance their treatments, such as high-frequency steamers, microdermabrasion, wax heaters, hot towel cabinets, and paraffin pots. Highlight that electricity does not occupy space or have physical or chemical properties. Electricity is not matter. It is a form of energy that, when in motion, exhibits magnetic, chemical, or thermal effects. Highlight that a flow of electrons, which are negatively charged subatomic particles. Highlight that an electrical current is the flow of negatively charged electrons along a conductor. Highlight that a conductor conducts electricity, like copper. Highlight an insulator, any substance that resists the passage of an electrical current, like rubber. Highlight that a circuit is the path of the electrical current from the generating source through conductors and back to its original source. And on your quiz, you guys, you'll have all the terms in a word bank, and then you'll have all the definitions. So you're just going to basically fill in the blank or just match, okay? The circuit shown below has a power source, fuse, switch, 2 lamps, and wires connecting each into a loop or circle. When the connection is complete, current flows from the positive terminal of the battery through the wire, the fuse, the switch, another wire, the lamps, a wire, and then to the negative terminal of the battery. Okay, so this is basically the route along which the electricity flows, and you need to know that it's called the electrical circuit. Okay? You don't need to know that it flows from the positive terminal to the battery, to the wire, to the fuse, or anything like that. You just need to know the definition of electrical current, basically. Types of electrical current. So there's direct current, which we've already talked about. You'll recognize that when you see DC. An even flowing current that travels in only one direction, producing a chemical reaction. Some examples would be a flashlight or a cell phone that is used with a battery. Alternating current is AC, rapid and interrupted current flowing in one direction and then in the opposite. That's that static electricity I was talking about, producing mechanical reaction. So a mechanical reaction means no chemical reaction takes place. It's either chemical or mechanical. Some examples are hair dryers or flat irons that plug into an outlet. Highlight a converter changes direct current to alternating current, and a rectifier changes alternating current to a direct current. Electrical measurements, highlight a volt is the unit that measures the pressure or force. Amp or ampere, unit that measures strength. Ohm, unit that measures resistance. A watt, measurement of electricity being used in 1 second. Kilowatt, 1,000 watts, your house is measured in kilowatts. A milliampere is 1/1000th of an amp, and this is what we use in facial treatments mostly. A fuse, a device that prevents excess current from passing through a circuit by melting it. A circuit breaker, a switch that automatically shuts off an electrical current before it overloads. We have circuit breakers in room 1. Sometimes we have to reset them. A rheostat regulates strength of a current. A jack is a plug-in device used to make electrical contact. Polarity changer, switches that reverses the direction of current from positive to negative and vice versa. A plug is a 2 or 3 prong connector at the end of an electrical cord. A wall plate is an instrument that plugs into an ordinary wall outlet and produces different types of electrical currents. Okay, so basically those are all the terminologies you need to know for your electricity quiz. Okay? Everything else we're going to go into is more of the anaphoresis, cataphresis, positive ions and negative ions, so that we're going to kind of review kind of what we did already in the equipment chapter, okay? So electrotherapy. An electrode is an applicator for directing the electric current from the machine to the client's skin. Electrodes can be glass, carbon, or metal. Polarity indicates the positive or negative pole of an electrical current. The positive electrode is called an anode and is usually marked with red or a plus sign. And the negative electrode, called a cathode, is usually black and is marked with a minus sign. If your electrodes are not marked, follow this polarity test. So you can actually separate the 2 conducting cords, immerse the metal tips in a glass of salt water. Turn up the intensity of the galvanic current. More bubbles will accumulate at the negative pole than the positive. Do not let the tips of the cords touch or you will cause a short circuit. So I don't suggest trying this at home, but it's an option. The 4 main modalities used in cosmetology are galvanic, faradic, sinusoidal, Tesla high frequency. So modalities are different types of electrotherapy treatments, basically, okay? And yes, you need to know that. Again, galvanic, faradic, sinusoidal, and Tesla high frequency. Galvanic current is a constant and direct current, known as DC, having a positive and negative pole and producing chemical changes when passing through tissues of the body. So this is exactly what an anode does when it touches the face and what a cathode does when it touches the face. Okay? Produces acidic reactions. So remember, acidic reactions happen when positive ions are on the face. Positive acidic. So when positive ions are on the face, we call that cataphresis. Why? Because cats are positive, remember? See, it's all starting to come together now. When you are forcing gels and ingredients into the skin. Imagine forcing everything in, the skin drinks it all up, and then the pores close and tighten. Okay, so everything goes in, pores are tightened, products inside. Okay, it soothes nerves, decreases blood supply, contracts blood vessels, and hardens and firms the tissue. The opposite of that negative pole, using a negative ion on the face, alkaline product on the skin. Think about if you're doing a deep cleanse, pores are opening, nerves are stimulated, blood is stimulated, everything's opening and coming out and detoxifying. Okay, so this expands blood vessels, softens tissues, opens the pores. Okay? Faradic current is an alternating current that produces a chemical effect used to manipulate facial muscles, causing contractions. So faradic current is the microcurrent that we talked about. We showed you the diagram. We brought the diagram up of the two forks. Microcurrent, thank you. That's faradic current, okay? Improves muscle tone, removes waste, increases blood circulation, relieves blood congestion, and stimulates hair growth. We don't really want that, but what it's saying is it stimulates blood and oxygen, and we know that blood feeds hair. Sinusoidal current is similar to faradic current. It tones muscles. It has a deeper penetration. It's less irritating, and it soothes nerves. Tesla high frequency is a heat-producing current with a high rate of oscillation. We know that oscillation is vibration, commonly called the violet ray, used in facial treatments. Tesla current does not produce muscle contraction and can be soothing or stimulating depending on the method of application. The electrodes are made from glass metal, and only one electrode is used at a time. So benefits: stimulation, improved glandular activity, increased elimination and absorption, increased metabolism, improved germicidal action, and relief of congestion. Do not use on clients who are pregnant, suffer from seizures or epilepsy, asthma, high blood pressure, or metal implants. Okay, so these are contraindications that you have to look for before you start your service, and your client will disclose that information on their client consultation form. Also ask your client to remove any jewelry or body piercings before the treatment. Okay? So 2 methods of applying high frequency. So remember when we talked about direct application and indirect application? Don't get confused with direct current and indirect current. Direct application and indirect application is only referring to high frequency, so using the glass electrodes. So direct surface application is mushroom, directly affecting the skin, fulguration, and the spoon, okay? Indirect application, remember, is when the client's holding it. So you guys worked on all your questions, 10. So I want to go over all the answers. What I think I'm going to do, because there's quite a lot of them, I still have to go through the chemistry chapter with you. So I'm going to send this to the group. I'll send the answers to the group, and then you guys can check your answers, okay? I know most of you probably already completed them. If there's a few of you that haven't completed them, can you start working on those tonight, and then maybe have them ready for tomorrow? And I'll send all the answers to everybody maybe tomorrow morning, or Anna will, okay? And yes, I saw somebody asked about the word scramble. Anna will put this into your folders for you. And these are all the words that you need to know for your quiz. Does anyone have any questions about this chapter? We'll open it up for about 5 minutes, and then we'll move on to chemistry. Nothing? Okay. If you think of anything, you can ask some questions at the very end when we're done. We're finished in an hour, so we've got 1 more hour. We're done at 11. And if I don't get a chance to talk to you guys today about any of this, again, just make sure you log into Zoom with me tomorrow, okay? Okay, so I want you to turn to your chemistry chapter. Okay, so let's start. So chemistry. Not all chemicals around us are dangerous or toxic. Everything is made of chemicals, and most chemicals are completely safe. The walls, this book, food, vitamins, this cup, even oxygen are chemicals. Everything you see and touch except for light and electricity is a chemical. Chemistry is the science that deals with the composition, structure, and properties of matter. There are 2 branches of chemistry. So highlight this, you need to know this for your quiz. Organic chemistry is the study of a substance that contains carbon. Carbon can be found in plants, animals, petroleum, coal, in natural gas, and pesticides. So these products are manufactured from natural gas and oil, which are the remains of plants and animals that have died millions of years ago. So when we die and our bodies go into the ground, millions of years from then, we're going to become fossil fuel, basically. And most organic substances will burn. So when you explain organic chemistry to me, I just want you to say, contains carbon, was once alive, found in plants and animals and humans, and will burn. Okay, so if it contains carbon, it's going to burn. Inorganic chemistry, the branch of chemistry dealing with compounds lacking carbon. So lack of carbon, was never alive, metals, minerals, water, and will not burn. Okay, and just write that down in point form. Matter. Everything in the world is either matter or energy. So you need to know, highlight this, that matter takes up space or occupies an area. Matter exists in 3 physical forms depending on the temperature: solids, liquids, and gases. Solids have a definite shape and volume. Liquids have a definite volume, taking the shape of their container. And gases do not have a definite shape or volume, and they expand easily. Okay? Matter can be classified into 3 main groups: elements, compounds, and mixtures. So elements are the basic units of all matter. You need to know that, highlight that. And there are 105, some say 104, some say 106, depending on the periodic table that you're looking at, naturally occurring elements. All matter on the earth is made up of 1 or more of these elements. Elements cannot be combined with any other element or be reduced to simpler substance without a loss of identity. Each element is identified by a letter that you can find on the periodic table of elements. There are 5 elements that make up the structure of hair, skin, and nails. So remember, we've talked about this before. Just remember CHONS. C-H-O-N-S. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur. That makes up the human body. Highlight that atoms are the structural units that make up elements. Atoms are the particles from which all matter is composed. All the atoms in an element are identical and cannot be divided into simpler substances. Atoms consist of smaller particles called protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons are positive, neutrons are neutral, and electrons are negative. The number of protons in an atom equals the number of electrons at all times. Highlight that a molecule is formed by joining two or more atoms of the same element chemically. There are two types of molecules. Elemental molecules containing two or more atoms of the same element. So like oxygen is O2. Ozone, O3. So that's elemental. Compound contains two or more atoms from different elements. So the compound molecule sodium chloride, NaCl, is common table salt. The chemical combination of one atom of sodium, which is Na, and one atom of chlorine, which is Cl. Okay. A compound is when two or more atoms from different elements unite chemically. The properties of chemical compounds are different from original properties from which they are made. So water, for instance, H2O, is a chemical compound of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So that's a compound. A mixture is the combination of two or more substances united physically without a fixed composition or without a chemical change. So I guess, yeah, like concrete contains sand, gravel, cement, and water. The properties still remain the same, and they can go back to their original properties. Matter can be changed physically or chemically. So a physical change is when physical properties of a substance do not form a new substance. So the physical properties are changed, but those physical properties can go back to its original state, okay? Like solid ice turning back into water, or mixing sugar and water and separating the sugar from the water. Nothing changes, they just mix. Chemical change is when a chemical reaction takes place, a new substance is formed, cannot go back to its original state. So if you burn wood or you burn paper, you can't get those original forms back. Oxidation is a form of chemical change. Oxidation happens all the time, all around us because of oxygen. Oxygen's highly unstable, so it will rust things. It will rot things like fruit. So when you cut a banana, it oxidizes instantly, or an avocado or an apple. When it starts to go brown, it's oxidizing. Basically, that's the beginning of the rotting process. Flowers oxidize. What happens in the skin when oxidation takes place? When oxidation takes place, things go brown or black. So when we see our blackheads, it's not dirt, it's not black, dirty oil. That is brown. The oil turned brown because of oxidation, because it was exposed to the air, oxygen. Okay? So oxidation happens all around us. Common elements, compounds, and mixtures. So knowledge of the properties of some of the most common elements, compounds, and mixtures can help an esthetician understand why cosmetic reactions occur. So with all of these different elements, you don't need to know that it's tasteless or odorless or anything like that. Basically, all you need to know is that hydrogen is an H on the periodic table. That's it, okay? And we know that in a chemical combination with oxygen, it creates water, H2O. Oxygen is O, nitrogen is N. Now, you do need to know that what makes up air. So we know that we breathe in oxygen, oxygen makes up air, but you need to know the ratio to nitrogen, because there's a lot more nitrogen in the atmosphere than there is oxygen. We breathe in both. Our lungs need the oxygen, but to process and break down food in our blood and cholesterol, we need that nitrogen. So you're actually breathing in 3 parts nitrogen and 1 part oxygen. So you're breathing in both, but no one ever talks about the nitrogen. But it actually does a lot of cool things in the body. You also breathe in small bits of carbon dioxide and some bits of organic matter. Water, you need to know, is H2O, hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, and that's it. So on your test, you're going to ask to write down the chemical equations for certain things. So when I ask you to do air, just say 3 parts nitrogen, 1 part oxygen. Water, H2O, hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, table salt, NaCl, and then hydrogen H, oxygen O, nitrogen N. Okay? Acidity and alkalinity. So we're going to talk about acids and alkaline substances on the pH scale. So, okay. So you need to know that pH stands for potential hydrogen. This refers to the degree of acidity or alkalinity of a product or substance. This is measured on a scale of 0 to 14. Acids have a pH below 7, taste sour, and turns litmus paper from blue to red. The lower the pH, the greater degree of acidity. Anything with a pH above 7 is alkaline, tastes bitter, and turns litmus paper from red to blue. The neutral range is considered to be between 6.5 and 7.5. The skin produces both sweat and sebum, which creates a barrier on the surface of the skin known as the acid mantle. Okay, so the acid mantle is made up of sweat and oil. We know oil is alkaline, sweat is acidic, but with that combination, it always ends up being a little more acidic. So we want the skin to be more acidic because bacteria cannot grow on acidic surfaces. If you have a lot of acne or your client has a lot of breakouts, papules, pustules, they're likely more alkaline, so that means there's more oil than sweat. You want to have the perfect combination, and when you do, it's called the acid mantle. Okay? When the skin is exposed to high or low pH, inflammation can occur. Strong acids such as sulfuric acid can produce chemical burns and destroy the skin. Highly alkaline substances such as lye can also produce inflammation. And in some cases, chemical burns. pH adjusters or buffering agents are frequently added to skincare products to keep the pH safe and prevent irritation. So chemistry and cosmetics. Any cosmetic may be a solution, suspension, or emulsion, all being physical mixtures. So a solution is a blended mixture of 2 or more solids, liquids, or gaseous substances. Highlight that a solute is the dissolved substance in a solution, and highlight that a solvent is the substance that is usually dissolving the other substance. So solvents dissolve solutes. Miscible liquids are soluble, meaning they can be mixed with each other without separating. So water and alcohol is an example of that. Immiscible liquids are not capable of being mixed, like water and oil. Or when you're making a salad dressing and you have your balsamic vinegar and oil, you have to shake it before you use it because they don't mix. That's an immiscible liquid. A suspension is when solid particles are distributed throughout a liquid medium. Suspensions contain larger particles that can usually be seen but not settle to the bottom. Again, this is like a salad dressing, trying to mix an oil and vinegar. An emulsion is a mixture of 2 or more immiscible substances united with the aid of a binder. So most skincare products that we use are emulsions because they have the aid of a binder. This means the suspension of one liquid in another. Okay, so you can either have an oil in water or a water in oil. Surfactants are substances that act as a bridge to allow oil and water to mix or emulsify. The head of the surfactant molecule is hydrophilic. So hydrophilic means water-loving. And the tail is lipophilic. Lipo is oil-loving. Like dissolves like, so the head dissolves in water and the tail dissolves in oil. A surfactant molecule dissolves in both oil and water. So what that means is, you need to know that, and you need to know this on your test. A surfactant molecule, I want to draw it for you. I do have a picture. I'm going to send it to the group so you guys have an understanding of what it looks like. Basically, a surfactant molecule has a head and a tail. So the hydrophilic head is water-loving head, and then the lipophilic tail is the oil-loving tail. So if you have oil and water, say you have a beaker full of water and you pour a little bit of oil in there. The oil droplets are suspended in the water. So how are you going to bind that together? It's like if you're creating a hydrating cream and you want it to be hydrating and not moisturizing. You don't want it to be too rich, but you want to have some oil. Then you're going to have have oil droplets suspended in your water beaker, but you have to blend them. So you add your surfactant molecules, your water-loving head with a tail, and you put it in, and then all the oil tails are going to connect to each individual molecule. So you're going to have tails connected to each oil droplet. And then the head is facing out into the majority of your water solution. Okay? So that's an oil and water and a water and oil suspension. I know that sounds confusing, but I will send you a diagram so you can understand that a bit better. Now, if you have water and oil, the majority of your beaker is oil. So that's going to be good for moisturizing, nourishing, good for dry, mature skin. So you have all these water droplets suspended in oil. So when you put your surfactant molecules in, your binders, what's going to be attached to those water droplets? The head or the tail? The head, because the head is water-loving. So all the heads are going to be surrounded by all the water droplets, and all the tails are pointing out to bind the oil and water together. Okay? So just know that an oil and water emulsion is lighter. It's good for dehydration. And the water and oil is richer, heavier. It's really good for anti-aging, moisturizing, it's greasier. Okay. Everybody has their chemistry questions. I'll give you guys time to work on those. And then again, we can go through the answers tomorrow during Zoom, or I can send you the answers. I can send them to the group, or Anna can send them, or put them in your folders so you have them. But these are the 3 quizzes that you guys should start studying for and think about completing this week, okay? Try to have them in your folders complete for Monday. As soon as I've got everybody's quizzes complete, I can start marking them. But I'll go over with Anna a little more about this, and we'll figure out a plan of the due dates for everything, okay? So chemistry questions are going to be basically exactly what you need to know for your quiz. The only thing that's different is you will have to draw a pH scale. So 0 to 14, 7 being neutral, and you will have to let me know what substances belong on the acidic side versus the alkaline side. So like orange juice, is that acidic or alkaline? It's acidic. Lemon juice, acidic. Skin, it's in the neutral zone, or it should be. Soap, alkaline. baking soda, alkaline. So that kind of a thing. Urine, acidic, coffee, acidic, those types of things will be on your test. You will have to draw the pH scale, 0 to 14, and you will have to draw a water and oil and an oil and water emulsion in a beaker, and you will have to draw the surfactant molecule. So the surfactant molecule, just draw the head, and draw a tail, and say water-loving head, oil-loving tail, and that's it. Everything else is pretty much going to be the same as your questions. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to open this up to you. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know. We've got a lot of time. We have until 11, so it's almost 10:30, so we've got a bit of time here. Hi, Keely. We have 2 quizzes assigned for this week, electrical equipment and electricity. Okay, thanks, Anna. Feel free to send any assignments, tests, and quizzes answers via email, and I can drop them in the folders. Perfect. So 2 quizzes this week, you guys, electrical equipment and electricity. So those are the ones that you need to complete. Quizzes have been shared with you. Write your answers down and send them to Anna. Or just drop them in your folders. You can keep all your information in your folders, and then either me or Anna can access it. Yes, don't forget your questions. Don't just do the quizzes. You will get marks for completion. So you have to make sure your questions are complete as well. Thank you. The tests and quizzes will be in your folders. And obviously, I want you guys to try not to do open book, but if you have to, that's an option. We don't have any other choice right now. So all of you guys hounding me for months about wanting to do open book quizzes and tests, well, here's your chance. You can do it, and you're not going to lose marks. Don't worry. Online and send them to us or drop them in your folders. Yeah. I'll just wait a few more minutes for questions. Can everybody join me on Zoom tomorrow? Actually, I need to find out what time it is. I can confirm that with everybody.
I can do that right now.
Amir is going to check for us just to confirm what time. And then we can have an... 12 o'clock?
That's correct.
So I hope everyone's available at 12 o'clock tomorrow so we can have a discussion about all of this. And if not, again, we can communicate via email as well. Okay. Yeah, and if you guys are missing any information, quizzes, questions, anything like that in your folders, just email Anna. Anna's in charge of all of that, making sure we're organized, and making sure you're organized with all your information. So if there's anything missing, just let her know and she'll make sure and drop that into your folder. Questions are in the end, or at the end of every chapter. We'll wait a few more minutes. Anyway, guys, this has been really fun. Even though I can't see your lovely faces, I can see your little icon on the screen. And I think this is really good. This has been fun, and I hope you guys got a lot out of these lessons. I know it's harder when we're not in the same room with each other, but this is just as great. Once we get used to it, I think that this will be perfect for what we need to get completed. So Zoom is always on Thursday at 12? I believe so. Yeah, I think it's...
Not necessarily. Maybe, but this week is definitely on tomorrow.
Okay.
And they're gonna get Anna will send them a link.
Okay.
To it, and they could just join.
Okay, yeah, not necessarily 12 o'clock every Thursday, but so far this week, that's what's going to happen. Anna will send you guys the link to log on, and if there's any changes, obviously Anna is going to be the person that's going to inform you about that. Anna, yes, we are going to aim for the same schedule every week. Perfect. So just make sure you guys can try to be available for that. Okay. Think that's good? Yeah, I'm confused, but we'll figure out later. Haha. Any questions you guys have? Again, me and Anna are always available, so just email us or message us. But I think we're going to sign off now. So make sure you do your studying and your questions and work on your quizzes. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. I didn't, just confirming, we have 2 quizzes and 1 questions, chemistry, right? Bye.